I never figured a single sunflower would be the spark that flipped my whole world upside down, but that's exactly how it happened. Picture this, a stubborn patch of yellow bursting out against all the beige and brown monotony of Willow Springs, a place so cookie-cutter you'd swear the whole town was designed by a committee of accountants. Here every mailbox matches every lawn's a clone, and every neighborly smile hides someone itching to email the HOA if your grass gets a quarter-inch too high. That's where I live, and for a long time I thought the wildest thing I'd ever see here was a neighbor leaving up their Christmas lights till February. I'm Mitch, and if you'd asked me a year ago, I'd have said my days of chaos were long behind me. Spent a decade in the Air Force, mostly in the comms room, fighting off late-night IT fires, patching servers at 4 a.m., and dreaming about quiet mornings. When I finally hung up my uniform for good, I traded sand in my boots for the hum of my home office and the glow of a few computer monitors. Figured that was as dramatic as my life would get, just me, a mechanical keyboard, and enough coffee to keep my heart going through 3 Zoom calls back to back. That's when Marjorie rolled into my life, or more like steamrolled. She was the self-appointed queen of the Willow Springs Neighborhood Alliance, strutting around with her visor and clipboard like a hall monitor who never got over high school. She treated the bylaws like scripture and wielded her authority like it was a badge, except her badge was a stack of violation notices printed on the HOA's finest recycled paper. So one day I'm elbows deep in a meltdown for some stressed-out CEO 3 states away trying to patch his servers before he loses his mind and my job. Just as I'm about to finish up, pops an email from the HOA urgent violation. Unauthorized flora and structure. Yeah, I already knew what this was about. My niece Emma had planted a sunflower out front, honestly the only thing with any personality on my property. The so-called structure. That was my not-so-secret project, an old military satellite dish I'd refitted for backup internet. Call it my insurance policy for the day. Our high-speed fiber took a dirt nap, which, let's be honest, happened about once a month. Anyway, I shoot back an email quoting the bylaws word for word. Sometimes I wonder if I missed my calling as a lawyer, and for good measure I tack on a fake review from some made-up art critic just to see if Marjorie bites. I figure that'll be the end of it. But if you've ever dealt with an HOA enforcer on a power trip, you know better than to bet against pettiness. A couple hours later, I am out front, watering Emma's sunflower, soaking in the sun when I feel this chill like someone just opened a window in my soul. I turn, and there she is. Marjorie, clipboard hugged to her chest, lips pursed so tight they could cut glass, and that stare, oh man, that stare, scanning my yard for crimes against conformity. She marches up. Mitch, we need to talk about this installation. Her voice is flatter than Kansas. She points her pen at my satellite dish and then at the sunflower like she's about to issue a warrant. I tell her with as much patience as I can fake that it's art, a statement about nature and technology coming together. She's not buying it. It looks like you're tracking Russian satellites, she snaps. Then with a dramatic stab at the sunflower, she adds, and this is over the height limit for seasonal decor. You'd think I just planted a nuclear reactor on my front lawn. I try to joke. It follows the sun, not politics, but she's immune to humor, and definitely to sunflowers. What started as a back and forth over bylaws turns ugly when she spots my exposed internet cable and starts lecturing me about safety and property lines. There's something in her eyes that day, like she's hunting for an excuse, itching for a showdown. Suddenly she reaches into her bag and pulls out these massive garden shears. Seriously, they look like something out of a horror movie. And before I can blink, she's over by the utility box snipping the thick black cable that runs along my house. My Wi-Fi dies. My screens go dark. And Marjorie, without missing a beat, wipes her hands like she just took out the trash and storms off, leaving me staring at the limp ends of cable, completely dumbfounded. For a second, I'm just angry. Then curiosity kicks in. I go inside, pull up the neighborhood's utility map, a little insurance from when I ran my own power line last year. And that's when I realize what she's really done. The cable she cut. It isn't just my internet. It's the main trunk line for the entire county's 911 center running right past my house. My installation violation just became a matter for the feds. You ever have that moment where you want to laugh and scream at the same time? That was me standing in my hallway thinking about how this suburban grudge match just blacked out emergency services for half the county, all because of a sunflower in a satellite dish. But here's the thing. Old habits die hard. I snap into action just like the old days. Pull out my weatherproof laptop, dust off my backup satellite uplink, and in less than 5 minutes I'm back online with more bandwidth than half the block combined. Skynet, baby. It's ridiculous, but in that moment I feel untouchable. Then there's a knock at the door, 2 cops. One looks exhausted. The other's got that I'd rather be anywhere else vibe or canvassing the neighborhood about a sudden 911 outage. I walk them out back, show them the severed cable, and just for fun, pull up the digital map to show where that line leads. When I mention Marjorie and her shears officer, Barnes just sighs like this isn't even the weirdest thing he's seen this week. Could have ended there, but nah. Next morning, I call in a couple of favors. Hector and Big Dan, 2 buddies from my Air Force days who still get a kick out of covert operations. They show up in an unmarked van before dawn, and together we run a stealth cable underground straight from the city node into my home office. No mess, no drama, not even a nosy neighbor notices. Dan, who's got a soft spot for Mrs. Kellerman's roses next door, makes sure her prize bushes are untouched. That's what I call service. Marjorie, meanwhile, can't stand being out of the spotlight. She jumps on the community forum blaming certain residents for hacking the network and overloading the system. I log in as Willow Watcher and drop a few breadcrumbs about what the cops found, along with a redacted incident report that sends the neighborhood rumor mill into overdrive. Suddenly, everyone's got a Marjorie story. Her measuring their grass, her banning chalk art, her ticketing little kids for riding bikes too fast. It's like a dam broke, and all the years of pent-up frustration come flooding out. She tries to delete the threads, but for every post she nukes 2 more pop up. The queen of the HOA is now the village joke. Right then, the weather decides to join the party. A storm rolls in, thunder rattling the windows, and the transformer down the street blows. Whole neighborhood goes dark. Everyone except me, of course. My backup system keeps humming. But at the 911 center, the temp fix Marjorie forced the phone company to rig up. Can't handle the load, poof, out goes the emergency service again. That's when Officer Barnes calls panic in his voice. "Mitch, we're blind out here. Pile up on the highway house fire, no way to dispatch. Can you help?" And just like that, I'm back in the hot seat, guiding first responders from my cluttered home office, dispatching crews, tracking weather, running traffic reports, the whole 9 yards. For an hour, I'm the nerve center for the county, saving lives in sweatpants. In the middle of it, someone's banging on my door. Turns out it's Marjorie, hair-soaked mascara running, clutching her little poodle like a flotation device. "Mitch, please, Fluffy's hiding under the bed. I think he's having a heart attack." 911 won't pick up. There's a moment there, just the 2 of us, the storm raging outside, where I swear I see real fear in her eyes. But I can't resist. I just look at her and ask, "Are you or your dog on fire?" She blinks. "What?" "No." "Is your house about to collapse?" "No." "Then you'll have to wait, Marjorie. Real emergencies first." And I close the door. Maybe that was petty, maybe it was justice. I'll let you decide. The next day, word spreads about the guy in pajamas who ran the whole county's 911 dispatch from his living room. The mayor calls me a hero, hands me a key to the city. I tell him to fix the potholes instead. Marjorie's ousted from the HOA so fast it makes her head spin. Her whole committee disbanded. Within a week, a for sale sign pops up in her yard. Last I heard, she moved somewhere off-grid, no HOA, no cell service, and definitely no internet. Things settle down. Hector and Dan land a contract to install real backup systems all over the county. The new HOA president, Jerry, a botanist with a love for wildflowers, writes a new bylaw that officially protects Emma's sunflower as the neighborhood's symbol of resilience. Now, every time I see it standing tall, a flash of yellow and all that beige, I can't help but grin. Funny how the smallest fights end up changing everything, right? Sometimes the villain gets what's coming. Sometimes you end up asking yourself if you went too far, or if the scars are just reminders of how stubborn hope can be. Maybe you've got your own Marjorie, your own little war with rules and the folks who worship them. So here's the real question: where do you stand? Was I right, or did I just become the villain in someone else's story? Is community control worth the price? Or is it our quirks, the sunflowers in a field of sameness that make life worth living? Tell me in the comments. Share your stories, your wildest HOA showdowns, or that one neighbor who made you question your sanity. And hey, if you want more tales from the front lines of suburbia, you know what to do, like share and hit that subscribe button.